One man being held by the Kurds claims that the relationship between Iraq and Al-Qaeda dates back more than a decade. Once again, Nightline correspondent Don Daler.
Abu Iman al-Maliki is also serving time in this Kurdish prison for spying on the Kurds. He says he's a 20-year veteran of the Iraqi intelligence service.
What was your position in Iraq in the military?
The Iraqi intelligence.
What was your job here? Why were you here? What were you doing?
Gathering information about the government of the province of the Kurdistan and all that is taking place in Kurdistan, then transmitting this directly to Iraqi intelligence.
The United States believes that the Iraqi regime has had contact with Al-Qaeda and that there might be Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Do you know that to be true or not?
No. Yes. Since the 80s, before it was Al-Qaeda, it was the PLO. There used to be a large number of Arabs who were training with us in camps, inside as well as outside Baghdad. But in 1992, elements of Al-Qaeda came to Baghdad and met with Saddam Hussein, and among them was Dr. al-Zawahiri.
This could be the same Dr. Zawahiri, who is the former head of Egyptian Islamic Jihad, and as Osama bin Laden's top deputy, a reputed mastermind of the September 11th terror attacks.
Do you know of any contacts recently, say over the past year or two, that they've had contact?
No. Yes, I have information about the subject.
How do you know about the relationship between the Iraqi regime and Al-Qaeda?
I have 20 years in Iraqi intelligence, so I have experience and extensive contacts with a number of officers. I was present in some of the trainings with Al-Qaeda. I was also present when Ayman al-Zawahiri visited Baghdad.
It's very important for the Americans to know if there is a relationship between Saddam and Al-Qaeda because of what Al-Qaeda has done to our country. So any information that you can give us about that relationship would be very helpful.
Yes, there is a relationship between the leaders of Al-Qaeda and the Iraqi government. It began approximately after the invasion of Kuwait. That is when the relationship developed and many delegations came to Baghdad. Dr. al-Zawahiri came to Baghdad and met with Saddam Hussein. And there are elements of Al-Qaeda training on suicide operations, assassinations, explosions, and the making of chemical substances in Iraq. And they are supervised by a number of officers, experts from Iraqi intelligence, the explosives division, the assassinations division, different specialties, and there is still a number of them in Baghdad.
Have there been any American intelligence agents who have come here to talk to you about this?
Honestly, I don't know if they are American or British. I spoke to people, but I don't know who they are with. I believe that some of them were security people working with intelligence because their style was investigative and not journalistic.
Would you cooperate with an American intelligence officer if he identified himself as such?
I will help them, yes, with one condition, that his work be not against the Iraqi people. I will help him not for the sake of hurting my people, but it is for bringing down the regime and exposing its military secrets. But if it were just for a special interest, then no.
The Iraqi regime is a secular Muslim regime. Al-Qaeda is a fundamentalist, radical Islamist group. What do two have in common? They're not normally such allies.
They consider America their common enemy, enemy of Iraqi regime and enemy of Al-Qaeda.
Whatever their motivation for talking, the stories these three men tell do seem to back up the allegations made by the Bush administration and bolster the case against Saddam. I'm Don Daler for Nightline in northern Iraq.